What's up, guys? This is my Winchester XPR rifle chambered in 300 WSM. What I want to do is actually take off this muzzle brake and add threads to the barrel because that muzzle brake is put on with set screws, and I'll probably just take off the action and the scope when I do it. So let's get started. All right, let's remove these set screws and take off this brake. I can't remember where I got this brake from, but yeah, you give them the size of your barrel and how it tapers, and then they send you this muzzle brake, and you're good to go. Let's see if I can take it off. Oh, yucky! Man, that's how long I had this. So wow. Yeah, that's what you get when you put a muzzle brake on, and you don't, I guess you don't take it off to clean it, but, well, that's all right, because we're going to add threads to this, and, we'll take a lot of this off. So let's see what that looks. Yeah, it looks fine, just a little surface rust. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is figure out how we're going to cut some threads in here. Okay, so I took a little bit of sandpaper. I just wanted to see what the metal looks like below the rust, and it just looks like it's surface rust. So that's all kind of coming off pretty easy. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it. So what we need to cut is first figure out the depth of how far we want to go in. So I have this old AR-10 flash hider, and then you buy this little barrel guide for cutting the threads. And what I do is I'm gonna screw it in. It's kind of flat flush to there, and I just mark it, right around where you want to be. I'll take this out. And kind of measure. I don't know if you can see the line that I have, this little line there that I marked with a pencil. And I just kind of measure it to where I think it will be. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just good enough. And that's where I'm gonna cut my threads into. So what you also need is a die. This is 5/8 by 24. And that's what most muzzle brakes take, or at least the ones that I know of. There are different types of muzzle brake threads, but the one that I use the most is 5/8 by 24. So, and you just want to make sure that this thing will thread in there also. Let's see. Yeah, man, you can do it. All right. But there it goes. Anyway, we'll get it to thread on, and also we just need one of these things go in here, and they'll help you thread things down. So but these are the things that you need. Okay, so I did a little more cleaning on the barrel. It looks pretty good. It's good enough because it's going to get threaded anyway. So what we need to cut these threads, we need a few things. First, we got to know what what thickness this barrel has to be for us to cut the threads into it. And I think you get the information online. For me, it needs to be between 0.623 and 0.625. And when I measure mines, I'm like 0.618 at my thickest, because this barrel is a little tapered, and I'm like at 612, in the front. So I'm under a little bit. I'm like 0.620, but I don't think that's a problem. All that means is I don't have to I don't have to file my barrel at all. I can just put this in a vise and start cutting some threads. So let's get that set up, and then we'll start cutting some threads. Okay, to start threading the barrel, what you gotta do is you take the barrel guide, you screw it into the die, and you want to screw it maybe halfway into the die, something like that. So I have about maybe 5 threads or so showing. And what that's going to do is when this shaft goes into the barrel and you start turning it, it's going to keep everything aligned so that it don't go in crooked. So we'll show what that looks like on the barrel, and we'll start cutting. And then I'll probably use some oil to help with the cutting process. Okay, let's do that now. All right, I'll just put some oil on the shaft, put some oil on the die so we can cut a little easier. And then we'll just place it on here and start cutting. I'll just go nice and slow. And just pushing down a little bit. Yeah, I can feel it cutting in. It's actually cutting in pretty nice. And I'll just go back and forth. Okay, so off camera I took out the guide, the barrel guide for the die, and then now I'm just gonna continue cutting until I get to the right height right amount of threads I want to get into. And I'll just keep doing this back and forth. I can feel it cutting, and then I go in and then cut, go back, and feel them cutting, go back. All right, and then we'll see what it looks like when we're all done. Well, all right, I think I'm all done cutting the threads. It was actually that simple. Let's see. Oh, everything looking good. I'm trying to wipe it a little bit. Oh, yeah. I think it looks great. I am going to add this locking nut on. All right, there we go. So put that on. I have a thread protector. Let me see how that looks. Ah, perfect. I think that's just right. I do have this to have this little guy I had from my other rifle. So I'm just going to put this muzzle brake on for now. And then we'll go ahead and start putting the rifle back together and see what the finished product will look like. Well, okay, guys, rifles all put back together. Everything works the way it should. And we now have a threaded barrel. So not too hard to do with a little bit of basic tools, and you too can do it if you need threads on your barrel. I only did it this way only because I didn't want to wait for my gunsmith. I think he was like very busy. It would have took me like 6 weeks to get it back. So I just decided to do it myself, and I think it turned out great. So talk to you guys later. Aloha.